number. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
94.1 FM. San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Championship weekend is here in college football, and it starts tonight with the AAC Championship with North Texas taking on Tulane. The winner headed to the college football playoff. It all starts coming up at 6:30 here on San Antonio Sports Star. Tomorrow, the SEC Championship. Georgia takes on Alabama. Starts at 2:30 right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with the pregame. And the Texans, they play on Sunday Night Football here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Happy Friday, everyone. Appreciate y'all riding along with me tonight, however y'all may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be locked in and listening live at sasportstar.com via the AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching live on YouTube, that's right, we stream all of our shows on YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star. You can like, subscribe, go ahead and comment along with the show as it happens. Love commenting and replying to y'all in the comments. Sam210 already in there. And Fred Records, appreciate everybody for joining me tonight as we get you ready for a big football weekend. Of course, like I said, championship weekend here. You heard about the games here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, over on San Antonio's ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM this weekend. We'll also have some games. You Red Raider fans, we're going to have the Big 12 championship as Tech takes on BYU. It starts at 10:30 with the pregame, and then that will be followed by the ACC championship between Duke and Virginia. It starts at 6:30 with the pregame over on 1250 and 94.5. Guys, appreciate y'all rolling through with me tonight. And the thing we didn't get into, the Cowboys laid a bit of a stinker last night as they fell in Detroit 44-30. 3-game win streak comes to an end. They're back down to 500 at 6-1, and their playoff lives are hanging in the balance. CeeDee Lamb suffered a concussion in that game, saw the fencing down there on the field. Scary sight anytime you see that. But earlier this morning, in the morning huddle, AJ and Rob reacting immediately to that Cowboys loss.
Oh, stop it. What are you grumpy about, Robert?
Nothing. Just in general, just keep it to yourself.
Robert was on top of the sports fan pyramid just a week ago, and now
I was
suddenly
feeling so good about my prospects. Things look so promising just a couple of days ago.
I mean, Rob at Thanksgiving dinner was saying, I'm thankful for the Aggies' undefeated season. I'm thankful for this late season Cowboys playoff push.
Yeah, man, I had the best comebacks in team history, 2 consecutive weeks on my favorite teams. I was riding the wave.
And now
here I sit.
Here we sit.
Looking at the draft order yet again. Trying to figure out why my prize wide receiver decides to take a half off, just quit, trying to figure out what exactly offensive pass interference really looks like.
Did he quit, or was he concussed?
No, that's the other one.
Oh, I don't see. You guys were saying that in the group chat last night. I don't think he quit. I think the Lions did everything they could to take him away
Pickens?
at that point. Yeah.
Oh, Pickens quit.
No,
there was lackadaisical routes. No, we saw the Pickens that Pittsburgh waved goodbye to last night.
I don't think you did. And I'll tell you what.
Output we did.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb came off the field, and the Lions said, okay,
I will give you that. And there's a lot of Flournoy.
Flournoy dominated because of it. Like I don't think that he quit at all.
There were some routes there was an offensive rub that was so obviously his fault. There was a flag thrown, that because he didn't cut quick enough and he caused a pick scenario. That was a brilliant call by Shoddy, but because he didn't fire off the lane the way he should have and made his cut, he was slow to get there and he caused an offensive interference call. Then I saw another play where he didn't cut. I'm just saying that the Pickens we saw, yeah, he was probably doubled and he quit because of that.
Well,
or whatever it was.
If Pickens is near the top of list of your
Oh,
complaints,
I have
we
a
watched
lot
a
of
different
complaints,
game.
but what I'm getting at was last night was awful. And it was exactly when the Cowboys are going to lose, they lose that way.
Was it more or less frustrating that they kept trying to make it a game again? Like,
no, I mean, I give them credit for the challenge, but when you're chasing your tail both offensively, but with just dumb penalties where you just keep stepping on your own shoelaces, the self-induced crap that the Cowboys just piled on themselves last night. And then you combine that with a defense that just can't, fight themselves out of a paper bag. They couldn't stop the run. What this internal defense that we've been talking about, where was that? Then there was, obviously, we knew they were going to be hamstrung without their tackle, and it was capitalized upon. I mean, poor Dak was under duress all night long. So when the Cowboys lose, that's how they lose, and we got to see the whole thing. And I'll tell you, AJ, yesterday it just felt like we were lining up to get kicked in the nuts. I mean, there's just too much good going on. I just felt like, man, there's too many good threads happening all at the same time for this not to be a setup for a defeat like that, especially against a team like Detroit and a coach like Campbell who loves to beat the Cowboys on big-time TV nights.
Yeah, it was, for the most part, there was a couple things that happened. One, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown suiting up.
Yeah, they played possum on that one, didn't they?
I think that surprised a lot of people, myself included, certainly. So kudos to them for keeping that close to the vest and breaking him out at the right time. They did do a good job relatively, and especially in the second half, taking away George Pickens. I mean, once Lamb went out of the game, it was a CeeDee Lamb day. We've seen these guys flip back and forth between a CeeDee Lamb day and a George Pickens day. Yesterday was a CeeDee Lamb day. There was no doubt. It took them a while to target him, but once they did, it was clear he was going to be the guy, and they were going to just pick at that scab. And then he gets knocked out of the game, and the Lions said, all right, it's going to be somebody besides George Pickens.
So Flournoy
had the best game of his career.
And it was, dink and dunk stuff. And when you're down to your third stringer across the middle for 7 yards a pop, Detroit was happy.
What it really boiled down to was there was no answer for the explosive players that the Lions have. Jamison Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is a running back that they lined up at wide receiver several times in that game. The idea, he made Deron Bland look like a middle linebacker trying to cover a wide receiver. I mean, he embarrassed Deron Bland. Deron Bland stinks, dude. I'm so sick of pretending that guy's good. He's not good. And the idea, he was literally falling down trying to cover a running back who was playing wide receiver.
In every highlight, he was behind the guy.
I mean, just embarrassing.
There's a lot there, but guess what? Now we got 4 weeks to figure out who gets to stay and who gets to go, and who's going to be the new defensive coordinator when this season is done. We'll debate whether Pickens is worth the franchise tag, knowing that there's possible games like this, and we could give there's reasons or excuses, but we got a month to talk about it now. I've been here before.
Yeah, looking that way. We'll talk about the Cowboys' chances.
8%.
That was a big swing last night. Big swing in their odds to make the playoffs. So we'll talk about that. Just sort of a kick in the balls in a game where it felt like maybe they had a chance to do something. At the end of the day, though, also let's not forget Dak did not have his best game. There was he piled up a bunch of numbers at the end of it, but
he wasn't. He didn't.
The turnover to start the second half when, you can't let that happen. You can't give them immediate an immediate touchdown.
Yeah, that was unforgivable. I mean, when the Cowboys are going to lose, they're going to lose like that. Dak's going to throw an interception and pile 376 up and, move the ball up and down the field in between the 30s. Look brilliant doing that.
Yeah.
And score 30 points and, say, well, I did my part. Well, you really didn't.
Yeah.
You really didn't. And I know you're getting chased around for your life. I saw Chad Hutchinson line up like 9 yards outside the tight end. You see how wide they were sitting him?
Yeah.
Just going nuts. But yeah, it was Cowboy night.
It was the pick to start the second half and
on the safety that the 63-yard field goal provides you sometimes take away the urgency of maybe we should charge down the field. Maybe let's not, like you saw Dak screaming at his coach, like, I know the field goal's here, but I feel like maybe we should go get a touchdown right now.
Well,
I think sometimes that gets in your way, the safety. And I'm not mad at the field goals. I appreciate that you got the safety blanket, but sometimes desperate measures are required in desperate situations. And a lot of field goals last night.
I thought at the end of the first half, when they had 4th and 4, I thought for sure they're going for it.
I
Instead,
get it.
they take the field goal.
And in the manual, it says take the points on the road. I get it, but at some point, a sense of urgency in a situation where you need to be rather urgent.
I think that manual may be that manual may not be like what the manual that was 10 years ago. Like analytics have figured out.
Well, see, it's still, the problem is it's still in manual form. Those that get the email.
Well,
he's still reading the manual,
like looking through a book.
Yeah, he's opening a book where you should be opening. You missed the email.
Yeah, you should be. There should be the AI should pop up and tell you.
Bing, go for it.
I thought that was an interesting choice, and then I hated it at the end of the game when they were down 10 with like 3.5 minutes left, and I think it was 4th and 3, and they were at the 11-yard line. And they kicked a field goal.
Yes.
I said, dude, you're not going to get closer than this.
Right. There's some opportunities. I just don't.
And I like you. The other thing is kicking a field goal when you're at the 11-yard line down 10 is so dumb for the Cowboys because your kicker's range is almost infinite. Like, so if you're the idea that you're going to get closer than the 11 for the rest of this game is very slim. So you go for the touchdown now. And if you do get the ball back, all you got to do is get to midfield and you give Aubrey a chance.
Yes.
And Minix, like in the group chat, was like, well, if you don't get the touchdown, the game's over. But on the other side of that is,
you're not going to be back here again,
right,
man. I don't think you think your defense is going to slow this team down. You think that they've stopped that you get the touchdown and you keep your foot on the gas. You do everything you can to get it back. That's the way the Cowboys lose right there.
And the other side of it is if you score the touchdown there and the Lions get the ball back and they go down and let's say you can hold them to a field goal, the game's still not over.
Yes.
But once you're down 7 and the Lions score anything, the game is over.
Huh.
So I hated the end of game there. I'm going to have to talk to Shoddy about this. I'm going to have to really dig into him. I mean, is this guy, what were you thinking, coach? That's what I'm going to say.
Well,
I'm probably not going to say it like that.
It's the safety of knowing I got an automatic 3. It's, unfortunately, sometimes you got to be a little bit less risk averse and just go for it. And when Dak, I think it really kind of kicks you when your coach pulls you off the field in a situation where you feel like I really need to get this team moving.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
You could see in his eyes, like, what are you doing to me, coach?
And when you have some momentum,
again, you're on the road and 3 points is 3 points. I mean, we kind of need it, but it just felt like if there was an opportunity to win the football game, you take the opportunity to win it instead of the opportunity to prolong it. And I don't like that.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, you're playing with house money at this point. Like if you're trying desperately to make show some desperation.
Yeah, that's what
which
I'm saying.
Means
desperate
go for it
measures. That's why I just didn't follow that. I don't think you realized how desperate the situation really is. Like you're sinking, your boat's going under. You really need to kind of swim for help.
I guess maybe when you win 3 games in a row, it's hard to have that mindset that you're there's still a hole in your boat.
Well, I don't know, man. We saw it, and and the other part of it was you tasted just enough success to move the ball to feel like there was something that could happen, and
yeah.
And maybe that's the worst thing that could have happened, where you feel like, yeah, I can move it at will. Well, not really. You were moving between the 30s at will, but your red zone was not there. What was it? 1 for 3 actually in the red zone as far as getting touchdowns. So no, it was just we were beaten. The Cowboys were beaten by a better team at home, and the better team involved play calling, strategy, health, all those things came into play last night, and the Cowboys went down hard.
But you had a chance to win this game at the end of the day. Like statistically, these two teams were even last night. The difference in the game was 3 turnovers to none, and the other, well, that and red zone, because when the Lions got in the red zone, they scored, and when the Cowboys got in the red zone, they settled for 3.
They had a more intuitive offense. You talked about putting running back out and wide. I mean, they did some really interesting stuff last night to kind of definitely throw off our defensive strategies.
Yeah,
our lackluster defensive strategies.
Pretty disappointing result if you're Dallas. The Lions desperately needed that win too, though, and probably feeling a lot better about their placement in the world right now.
That was earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. You can catch them every weekday morning from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And look, I understand both sides of it. You needed 2 scores. You take the 3, you keep it a 1-point game. There's 3.5 minutes left at that point. You've got all 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning. You can get your offense back the ball with enough time to make a push to get a touchdown, knowing you can only get a touchdown. But at the same time, you're that close. You need 2 scores. Why not get the first down, try and get that touchdown to where if you get the ball back into the hands of the offense, they can get into Brandon Aubrey's range. And it is unquestioned how easily that becomes a reality when you have a kicker like a Brandon Aubrey. So I get both sides of it. I leaned more towards it was 4th and 3. You don't trust that offense to get you 3 yards that close. I mean, at some point, you start wondering about the identity of this team. What is it? They say they want to be, physical, fast. This is a team that did not play physical last night. Are they a passing team? Are they a running team? Are they relying on their defense, which hard to say that you can do right now. Your calls coming up after this on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars. We get you ready for the AC championship game between North Texas and Tulane coming up at the bottom of the hour here on San Antonio Sports Star. But we'll unpack more of this game, plus your phone calls if you want to react. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and AARP Texas are sending Cowboy fans to Jerry World to see America's team play all season long. How do you get in on the action? Head to sasportstar.com now and register to win. sasportstar.com. Live it up with the boys in the Big D from AARP Texas and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Listen to this message I received.
First message.
This is Santa Claus. Hey, I'm calling to give you a heads up. Last Christmas, so many people asked me for a Kinetico water softener, but getting all those Kinetico units in and out of the sleigh, up and down the chimneys, well, it's not so good on my back. So I'm going to forward all those Kinetico wish lists directly to you. Here's Mrs. Claus.
Thanks again for installing our Kinetico. I just love how soft my man's beard is, and my skin feels silky smooth, even here at the North Pole.
So if it's okay with you, I'll handle the toys, you handle the water softeners.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit, and $400 off when you trade in your old water softener.
By the way, the elves just love your jingle.
Call 656 Pure Kinetico.
I'm not a fan of the gluten-free cookies. Bye-bye.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656 Pure Kinetico.
License number 38961.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, lift with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not that.
Of course he did. Right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
An elf? I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies, right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch, so you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part, you can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the tree is slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed.
With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with autopay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Ticket. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all riding with me. Thank you at the bottom of the hour for the AAC championship game between North Texas and Tulane, presented by Flight by Yingling. It starts at 6:30 with the pregame right here. Winner going to the college football playoff, as they will be one of the highest ranked conference champions remaining. And it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how all of this plays out, but we're still talking Cowboys. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You want to sound off? Feel free. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Martin, welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger, my man. What's going on?
Oh, man. They're close, but, I'm kind of glad they lost last night because, if they would have won, everybody's going to get hyped up. And, there's still a few players, Diggs, like I said, Diggs and Blank. We need to replace them. They're hurt. As far as Pickens, I think we might maybe move off of him. You can always get good receivers, in the draft, late round.
Can you?
But
what's Jerry's track record in doing that?
Well, we'll see at the end of the year.
You've got a Jalen Tolbert. You traded for a Jonathan Mingo. You have lots of players that they've drafted. The only one that's really worked out was Michael Gallup, who, after the injury, wasn't the same.
Yes, that's true. But like they say, Pickens, he was let go by the Steelers for one reason,
Yeah.
But
Do you think we saw that reason last night?
Oh yeah, and I knew it, But maybe too, though, next year they need to maybe with a draft pick get a veteran guy on the O-line, someone who's proven.
As in use the pick to trade for offensive lineman?
Yeah, I think we need someone to be a leader out there.
All right. Appreciate the phone call, Martin.
All right. You have a great weekend, sir.
Same to you. And look, I think the offensive line needs to be addressed. It was obviously exposed last night heavily. For those wanting Nate Thomas to start over Tyler Guyton, I think we know now why exactly Tyler Guyton was starting in the first place, and it was more than his first-round draft status. Fred Records, in regards to the George Pickens thing, says he's still riding with Pickens. One bad game doesn't undo what he's done all season long, and that's fair. But we do know he was let go of Pittsburgh for a reason. Is that part of it? Was he on his best behavior because of a contract, and all of a sudden that boiled over and he couldn't contain himself. And what's going to happen once he gets paid? We've seen a lot once people get paid of drop off in production, whether it's Diggs or Bland, whether that's injury or content. But do you want to roll that dice with that kind of money with George Pickens? It's going to be very interesting as this all unfolds. Of course, coming up next, we have the AAC Championship, Tulane taking on North Texas. Tomorrow, we've got the Big 12 Championship over on AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. It is Texas Tech taking on BYU. Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, we have the SEC Championship between Georgia and Alabama. Get you started at 2:30 with the pregame there. Then back over on the AM and 94.5 FM, we have the ACC Championship with Duke and Virginia. And then Sunday, Texans Sunday Night Football. And before that, for all you Texans fans, Colts Jags, another big game at noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Be sure to check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple, hey, how you doing can change everything. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down! It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle, and you could be the next contestant on
This Stat Is Right. Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing